The rain was falling hard that night. It was the kind of rain that made everything difficult. The windshield wipers on Marcus Cole's old truck could barely keep up. He was driving slow, leaning forward in his seat, trying to see the road ahead. Marcus was 34 years old. He worked at the packaging plant on the edge of town. It was not exciting work, but it paid the bills. He had a daughter named Lily, who was 8 years old. She was waiting at home with Mrs. Patterson, the elderly woman from next door who watched her when Marcus worked late. The road was empty. Nobody else was crazy enough to drive in this weather. Marcus just wanted to get home, eat something, and check on Lily before she fell asleep. That was his life now. Simple things. Small routines. After his wife Sarah left 2 years ago, he had learned to find comfort in simple things. Then he saw the light dot. It came from the sky like a falling star, but it was too big and too bright. It was orange and white and had left a trail of fire behind it. Marcus stopped his truck in the middle of the road and watched through the rain as the object crashed into the old cornfield that belonged to the Hendricks family. The ground shook. A wave of light spread out from the crash site. Marcus sat there for a long moment. His heart was beating fast. Common sense told him to keep driving. Nothing good could come from investigating strange things that fell from the sky. He had a daughter at home. He had responsibilities, but then he saw the figure. Someone was moving through the cornfield, coming toward the road. The person was stumbling, falling, getting back up. Even through the rain, Marcus could tell something was wrong. The figure was limping badly. He pulled his truck to the side of the road and got out. The rain hit him immediately, soaking through his jacket. He walked toward the field, squinting through the water running down his face. The figure reached the fence at the edge of the road and collapsed against it. That was when Marcus saw that this was not a person. Not a human person, anyway. She was tall. Very tall. Maybe 7 feet, he guessed. Her skin was the color of copper, smooth and almost metallic. She wore some kind of armor that was black and silver, but it was damaged. Pieces of it were missing or hanging loose. Her hair was dark and cut short, and her eyes were unlike anything Marcus had ever seen. They were large and dark, but there were tiny points of light in them, like stars. There was blood coming from her side. But it was not red blood. It was silver, and it glowed faintly in the darkness. She looked at Marcus. Her face showed pain and exhaustion, but also something else. Surprise, maybe. Like she had not expected to find anyone here. "Please," she said. Her voice was strange. It was clear and musical, but there was something underneath it, like an echo. She spoke English perfectly, but with an accent that did not belong to any country Marcus knew. "They are coming. I need help." Marcus looked back at the crash site. The fire was still burning, despite the rain. Then he looked up at the sky. More lights were appearing there. Small lights moving in patterns. They were not stars. They were not airplanes. "Who's coming?" Marcus asked. "The Hollow," the woman said. "They followed me. They tracked my ship. If they find me, they will kill me. And then they will kill everyone on this world." Marcus did not know what to say to that. It sounded crazy. It sounded like something from a movie. But the woman in front of him was real. Her blood was real. The fear in her strange eyes was real. "Please," she said again. Her legs gave out and she fell to her knees. "I have nowhere else to go." Marcus thought about Lily. He thought about his quiet life and his simple routines. He thought about all the reasons he should get in his truck and drive away. Then he stepped forward and put his arm around the woman's shoulders. She was heavy, much heavier than she looked, but he managed to help her stand. "My truck is right there," he said. "Can you walk?" She nodded weakly. Together, they moved toward the vehicle. Marcus opened the passenger door and helped her inside. Her silver blood stained his jacket and his seats, but he did not care about that now. He got in on the driver's side and started the engine. In the rearview mirror, he could see the lights in the sky getting brighter. "Getting closer? Where do we go?" he asked. "Away from here," the woman said. Her eyes were closing. She was losing consciousness. "They will search the crash site first. That gives us time. Not much, but some." Marcus put the truck in gear and drove. He did not take the main road. Instead, he turned onto the old farm roads that wound through the fields. Roads that were not on any map. Roads he knew from growing up here. "What's your name?" he asked. "Velith," she said quietly. "Velith Core 7. I'm Marcus. Marcus Cole. Marcus Cole." She said his name slowly, like she was memorizing it. "Why are you helping me? You do not know me. You do not know what I am." "You're hurt," Marcus said. "You asked for help. That's enough." Velith was quiet for a moment. "Your species is strange." "Yeah," Marcus said. "I've heard that before." They drove through the rain for another 20 minutes. The lights in the sky spread out, searching, but they did not come toward Marcus's truck. Finally, he turned onto the long driveway that led to his house. It was a small farmhouse, old but well-maintained. There was a barn behind it, and fields that had not been farmed in years. "Is this your home?" Velith asked. "Yes. There are others here. I can sense them. A small life force. Young. My daughter," Marcus said. "Lily. She's 8. Velith looked at him with those impossible eyes. "You brought me to your home, where your child sleeps. There's a root cellar behind the barn. Nobody knows about it except me. You can hide there until you're healed. You would risk your family for a stranger from the stars?" Marcus stopped the truck and turned off the engine. He looked at Velith seriously. "Lady, those things up there are going to kill everyone on Earth if they find you. That includes my family. So the way I see it, the only way to protect Lily is to make sure they don't find you. That means helping you." Velith stared at him for a long moment. Then something changed in her face. It was not quite a smile, but it was close. "You are either very brave or very foolish, Marcus Cole." "Probably both," Marcus said. "Now come on. Let's get you inside before those lights come back." He got out of the truck and walked around to help her. Together, they moved through the rain toward the barn, toward the hidden cellar, toward a future that neither of them could predict. Above them, the strange lights continued their search, not knowing that the thing they hunted was already hidden in the last place they would think to look: a small farm. A simple man. An ordinary life that was about to become something extraordinary. The root cellar was dark and cold, but it was dry. Marcus had not used it in years. His grandfather had built it long ago, during a time when people worried about storms and wars. Now it would hide something his grandfather could never have imagined. Velith sat on an old wooden bench while Marcus examined her wound. The silver blood had stopped flowing, but the injury was deep. A piece of metal or something, like it was stuck in her side. "I need to take this out," Marcus said. "And I need to close the wound. I don't have medical supplies. Just a sewing kit and some whiskey." "That will be enough," Velith said. "My body heals faster than yours. I just need time." Marcus nodded and got to work. He had never done anything like this before, but he had seen enough injuries at the farm to know the basics. He cleaned the wound with the whiskey, pulled out the piece of metal, and used a needle and thread to close the opening. Velith did not make any sound during the process. Her face was calm, like she had experienced much worse than this. When he was finished, Marcus sat back and looked at her. In the light of the small lantern he had brought, she looked less frightening and more tired. Whatever she was exhausted. "Thank you," she said. You should rest now. First, you should know what you have become involved in. You deserve to know why those machines are hunting me." Marcus nodded. He had been wondering about that. Velith took a deep breath. "I am a sentinel of the hegemony. The hegemony is an alliance of many species across many star systems. We have existed for 10,000 years. We protect the civilizations within our borders. We maintain peace. An interstellar peacekeeping force," Marcus said slowly. "Like space police, something like that. Yes." Velith almost smiled. "For most of our history, we were successful. We stopped wars. We prevented suffering. We believed that order could defeat chaos. What changed? The light in Velith's eyes seemed to dim. The Hollow came. We do not know where they originated. We do not know who created them or why. They are machines, but they think. They plan. They hunger. They move from world to world, from system to system, and they consume everything. Resources, technology, life. Nothing is left behind. They are not evil in the way you might understand it. They simply exist to grow. And to grow, they must destroy." Marcus felt cold despite the warmth of the cellar. "How many worlds have they taken?" "Thousands. Tens of thousands. The hegemony tried to fight them. We had the greatest fleet in the galaxy. We had weapons that could destroy planets. None of it mattered. The Hollow learned from every battle. They adapted. They became stronger while we became weaker. So you're losing the war. We have already lost it." Velith's voice was heavy with grief. "The hegemony is finished. Our home worlds are gone. Our fleets are scattered and dying. All that remains is one last hope. A hidden place, far from the Hollow's reach. A new home where the survivors can rebuild. And those things up there are trying to stop you from reaching it." Velith reached into a compartment in her damaged armor and pulled out a small device. It was silver and roughly the size of a baseball. Strange symbols glowed on its surface. "This is a navigational cipher," she said. "It contains the coordinates to the hidden refuge. Without it, the surviving fleets cannot find their way. They will wander in the darkness of space until the Hollow finds them and destroys them. Billions of lives depend on this device reaching the right hands." Marcus looked at the small object. It seemed impossible that something so small could matter so much. "My mission was to carry this cipher to a rendezvous point on the far side of your solar system," Velith continued. "But the Hollow intercepted my ship. They damaged my engines. I barely escaped into your atmosphere before the ship failed completely. Now I am stranded on your world with no way to contact my people and no way to deliver the cipher. Can you fix it?" "The cipher, I mean. You said the Hollow damaged your ship. Did they damage this too?" Velith looked at the device. "The cipher was corrupted during the crash. I can repair it, but I need time. Several days at least. Perhaps a week. And those lights in the sky? The Hollow Scouts? They will search for me. They know I survived. They know I have the cipher. They will not stop until they find it. What happens if they find you here?" Velith was quiet for a moment. "If they determine that the cipher is on this world and they cannot locate it, they will destroy everything. Your entire planet. They will reduce it to dust just to ensure the cipher is gone." Marcus closed his eyes. He had known, somehow, that the answer would be something like this. He thought about Lily, asleep in her bed in the house. He thought about Mrs. Patterson and the Garcia family down the road. He thought about everyone in town, everyone in the country, everyone in the world. All of them in danger because of what he had done tonight. "I'm not going to turn you over to them," he said. Velith looked at him with surprise. "You would risk your world for this?" "I'm already risking my world. The moment I stopped to help you, I made that choice. Now the only thing I can do is help you fix that cipher and get it to your people. That's the only way anyone survives this. You are strange, Marcus Cole. Among my people, such a decision would require careful calculation, risk assessment, strategic planning. You made it in moments. I made it with my gut. That's how humans work sometimes. We feel something is right, and we do it. We figure out the logic later. Valeth studied him for a long moment. Your species has been watched by the hegemony for some time. You were considered too young, too primitive, too violent to be contacted. We believe you had nothing to offer the greater galactic community. And now? Now I am not so sure. You possess something I have not seen in a long time. Perhaps something my people have forgotten. What's that? Hope without reason. Courage without calculation. Valeth leaned back against the cellar wall. My people fight because we must. Because the alternative is extinction. But you helped me tonight without knowing any of this. You helped me because I was hurt and I asked. That is different. That is something I do not fully understand. Marcus stood up and gathered his medical supplies. Get some rest. I'll bring you food and water in the morning. Is there anything else you need for the repairs? Tools, if you have them. Small ones. And a power source. Anything that generates electricity. I'll see what I can find. He turned to leave. But Veleth's voice stopped him. Marcus Cole. He looked back. If this ends badly, if the Hollow finds me and destroys your world, I want you to know that I am sorry. I did not mean to bring death to your home. I was only trying to survive. Marcus nodded slowly. We all are. That's the thing about living. You never know when you're going to accidentally change everything. He climbed out of the cellar and closed the door behind him. The rain had stopped. The sky was clear now, and he could see the stars. Somewhere up there, among all those distant lights, machines were hunting for the woman in his cellar. Somewhere up there, the fate of billions hung in the balance dot, and here, on this small farm in Kansas, a single father was going to do whatever he could to help Dot. It was not logical. It was not strategic. It was just human. And maybe, Marcus thought, that was exactly what the universe needed right now. The days that followed were the strangest of Marcus's life. On the surface, everything looked normal. He went to work at the plant. He made breakfast for Lily. He helped her with her homework. He talked to the neighbors about weather and sports and all the ordinary things people talk about. But every night, after Lily went to sleep, he walked out to the root cellar with food and supplies for Valeth. He brought her tools from his garage, old radios he found at the thrift store, batteries and wires and anything else she asked for. He watched her work on the cipher, her long fingers moving with speed and precision that no human could match. The Hollow Scouts never left the sky. During the day, they stayed high above the clouds where nobody could see them. But at night, Marcus could see their lights moving in patterns, searching. They covered the entire region in a grid, slowly and carefully checking every inch of ground. They are methodical, Valeth told him one night while she worked. They do not make mistakes. They do not give up. Eventually, they will find me. How long do we have? Perhaps another week before they reach this area. Perhaps less. Marcus sat in the corner of the cellar, watching her. She was healing fast. The wound in her side was almost closed now. She could stand and walk without help. But she was still weak, and the repairs to the cipher were taking longer than she had hoped. Tell me about your people, Marcus said. The hegemony. Valeth paused her work. What do you wish to know? Anything. Everything. I've never met someone from another planet before. Kind of curious. Valeth considered this. The hegemony was made of many species. Some looked similar to your kind. Others were very different. We had beings made of light, beings who lived in the vacuum of space, beings whose thoughts took centuries to form. Diversity was our strength. Or so we believed. What happened to them? When the Hollow came, they died. One by one, species by species. Some were consumed quickly. Others fought for generations before falling. The Hollow has no hatred, no cruelty. It simply expands. It is like a fire that burns through a forest. The fire does not hate the trees. It simply burns. Marcus shook his head. That almost makes it worse. Yes, evil can be reasoned with. Evil can be negotiated with. Evil can be understood. But the Hollow is not evil. It simply is. There is no bargain to be made. No treaty to be signed. It will not stop until everything is consumed or until it is destroyed. Can it be destroyed? Valith was quiet for a long moment. We do not know. We have never found a way. But then, we have never found a species quite like yours, either. What do you mean? Your species is young. Only a few 100,000 years old by our records. You have no interstellar travel. No energy weapons. No shields or advanced computing. By every measure we use, you are primitive, insignificant. The Hollow would not even consider your world worth visiting if not for my presence here. Thanks for that, by the way. Valith almost smiled. And yet, there is something about you. Something I have observed in you that I never expected. What's that? Persistence, irrationality. Your refusal to calculate odds before acting. Among my people, such traits would be considered flaws. Dangerous weaknesses. But watching you these past days, I am beginning to wonder if they might be strengths we have overlooked. Marcus laughed softly. You're saying our stupidity might save the galaxy? Not stupidity. Something else. Something harder to define. Valith set down her tools and looked at him directly. Why did you not leave your wife? The question caught Marcus off guard. He had mentioned Sarah once, briefly, but he had not expected Valith to remember. She left me, he said. Not the other way around. I know. But before that, when things were difficult, when she was unhappy, when your life together was falling apart, you could have left. You could have calculated that the relationship was not worth saving and moved on. Why did you stay? Marcus thought about it. He thought about the years of arguments and tears. The nights when Sarah would not talk to him. The mornings when she looked at him like he was a stranger. He had known for a long time that she was not happy. He had known that she might leave. Because I loved her, he said finally. And because I made a promise. When I married her, I said I would be there through the good times and the bad. I meant it. Even when things were bad, I wanted to try. I wanted to believe things could get better. And did they? No. She left anyway. Took off one night while I was at work. Left a note that said she was sorry, but she just couldn't do it anymore. Haven't seen her since. So your persistence failed. Your hope was wrong. She left despite everything you did. Marcus was quiet for a moment. Yeah, I guess she did. And yet you helped me. A stranger. An alien. Someone who could bring death to your entire world. You helped me the same way you tried to help her. Without calculation. Without guarantee of success. Simply because you believed it was the right thing to do. I guess that's just how I am. Valith picked up her tools again and returned to the cipher. Among my people, that would be considered madness. We calculate everything. Every decision is weighed. Every risk is assessed. We would never help someone without knowing the probability of success. How's that working out for you? Valith paused. We are losing. We have been losing for centuries. Despite all our calculations, despite all our planning, the Hollow has consumed most of our civilization. Maybe the calculations aren't everything. Then, perhaps not. Valeth worked in silence for a few minutes. Your daughter, Lily, she made me a picture today. Marcus smiled. She does that. She's always drawing. Says she wants to be an artist when she grows up. The picture was of your house, your truck, you and her standing together. And there was a third figure, tall, with copper skin. She drew you? Yes, she labeled it Daddy's new friend. I do not understand why. Marcus felt something warm in his chest. Because that's what kids do. They see someone and they decide that person is a friend. They don't calculate it. They just feel it. It is strange. She knows I am not human. She knows I am different. And yet she accepts me without question, without fear. Kids are like that. They haven't learned to be afraid of everything yet. They haven't learned to see differences as threats. They just see people. Vela set down her tools again. Her strange eyes were bright in the lantern light. I have lived for 300 years, Marcus Cole. I have seen countless civilizations rise and fall. I have witnessed both wonders and horrors beyond anything you could imagine. But I have never understood hope the way you and your daughter seem to understand it. You hope without evidence. You love without guarantee. You persist even when logic says you should stop. Is that a compliment or an insult? I do not know yet, but I am beginning to think it might be the most important thing I have ever learned. She returned to her work, and Marcus sat in the corner of the cellar, thinking about what she had said. Outside, the Hollow Scouts continued their endless search. Time was running out, but for the first time in a long time, Marcus felt something he had almost forgotten. He felt like what he was doing mattered, not just for Lily, not just for his little town, but for something bigger, something that stretched across the stars. And that, he realized, was exactly what hope felt like. On the sixth night, everything fell apart. Marcus came home from work to find Mrs. Patterson waiting on his porch with a strange expression on her face. Lily was inside, she said, but something had happened at school. Something the old woman did not understand. Marcus thanked her and went inside. He found Lily at the kitchen table, drawing as usual. But when she looked up at him, there was guilt in her eyes. The kind of guilt that meant she had done something wrong and knew it. Daddy, she said, I'm sorry. Marcus sat down across from her. What happened, sweetheart? I followed you. Last night, after I was supposed to be asleep. I saw you go to the barn. I saw the secret room under the ground. I saw the lady. Marcus felt his blood turn cold. Lily, I know I wasn't supposed to. I know it's a secret. But I wanted to know why you kept going out there. And then I saw her, and she was so pretty and so different, and I wasn't scared at all. She looked at me, and I looked at her, and I didn't say anything because I didn't want to get you in trouble. Marcus took a deep breath. Okay, that's okay. You're not in trouble. But Lily, did you tell anyone what you saw? Lily's eyes dropped to the table. That was all the answer Marcus needed. Who did you tell? Just Emma, at school. She's my best friend. I tell her everything. I didn't think she would tell anyone else. What did you tell her, exactly? I said there was a lady from space hiding in our barn. I said she had copper skin and stars in her eyes. I said she was beautiful. Marcus closed his eyes. Emma Parker. Her father worked at the local radio station. Bob Parker was a friendly man who liked to joke around on his morning show. If he had heard a story about an alien in the Cole family barn, he would have mentioned it. Not seriously, probably. Just as a joke. Just as a funny story about what kids say. But the Hollow was listening. The Hollow was always listening. Marcus stood up so fast his chair fell over. He ran to the window and looked at the sky. The sun was setting, and the stars were beginning to appear. and among them, lights were moving. Lots of lights, all coming in the same direction, toward his farm. Lily, go to your room. Lock the door. Do not come out until I tell you. Daddy, what's happening? What did I do? Marcus knelt down and took her face in his hands. You didn't do anything wrong, sweetheart. You just made a mistake. Everyone makes mistakes. But right now, I need you to trust me. Go to your room. Stay quiet. Everything is going to be okay. He did not know if that was true, but he said it anyway, because that was what fathers did. Lily ran to her room. Marcus ran to the barn. Valeth was already climbing out of the cellar when he arrived. She held the cipher in one hand and a weapon in the other. It was small and silver, and it hummed with energy. They found us, she said. It was not a question. My daughter, she told a friend. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Do not apologize. You did more than anyone could have asked. You gave me 6 days. The cipher is repaired. She looked at the device in her hand. But I cannot reach the extraction point. They have surrounded this area. There is no path out. Marcus looked up. The lights were getting closer. He could see them clearly now. They were not ships exactly. They were drones of some kind. Metallic and angular, with edges that seemed to cut the air itself. There were dozens of them. Maybe hundreds. There has to be something we can do, he said. There is not. I will fight. I will take as many with me as I can. But in the end, they will get the cipher. And then they will destroy this world to make sure no one else knows where the refuge is. No, Marcus shook his head. No, there has to be another way. Think, you've been fighting these things for centuries. There must be some weakness, some vulnerability. The Hollow has no weaknesses. It learns, it adapts. Every strategy we have used, it has countered. Every weapon we have created, it has overcome. It is the perfect predator. The first drone descended into the yard. It was larger than Marcus's truck, and it made no sound at all. Just a faint hum of energy. Weapons on its surface began to glow with deadly light. Marcus stepped in front of Valeth. He did not know why. He had no weapon. He had no power. He was just a man with nothing but his body between the woman he had chosen to protect and the machines that wanted to kill her. Get behind me, he sighed. That will accomplish nothing. I don't care. More drones descended. They formed a circle around the barn, surrounding them completely. The lead drone's weapons charged, building to a killing blow. And then the back door of the house opened. Lily walked out onto the porch. She was holding a piece of paper. One of her drawings. She held it up in front of her like a shield. Marcus's heart stopped. Lily, no. Go back inside. But Lily did not go back inside. She walked forward, toward the drones, toward the death machines that could vaporize her with a single pulse of energy. She walked with the fearless confidence of a child who had not yet learned to be afraid of the impossible. You can't have her, Lily said. Her voice was small but steady. She's our friend. The lead drone's weapons were fully charged now. One shot and Lily would be gone. Marcus tried to run to her, tried to put himself between his daughter and the machine. But Valeth caught his arm and held him back. Wait, she whispered. Look, the drone had stopped. Its weapons were still glowing, but it was not firing. It hovered there, perfectly still, as if it was frozen in place. The other drones were the same. All of them, motionless. Waiting. Lily held up her drawing. Marcus could see it now. It was the picture Valeth had told him about. The house, the truck, the 3 figures holding hands. Lily had added words at the bottom in her careful, childish handwriting. My family. She's part of our family now, Lily said to the drones. You can't hurt family. That's not allowed. The lead drone made a sound. It was not a word exactly. It was more like a question translated into pure tone. A query. A confusion. Then, one by one, the drones began to rise. They pulled back, slowly at first, then faster. They climbed into the sky and vanished among the stars, leaving nothing behind but silence and the smell of ozone. Marcus could not move. He could not speak. He could only stare at his daughter, this small girl who had just done something impossible. Valeth released his arm and walked toward Lily. She moved slowly, as if approaching something sacred. How? Valeth asked. How did you do that? Lily shrugged. I just told them the truth. She's our friend. We love her. You can't hurt someone that people love. That's the rules. Valeth knelt down so she was at Lily's level. Her strange eyes were wide with something Marcus had never seen in them before. Wonder. Among all the species the hegemony has studied, Valeth said softly, among all the civilizations the Hollow has consumed, no one has ever done what you just did. No one has ever stopped them with words. Maybe nobody ever tried, Lily said. Valeth looked at Marcus. There were tears in her eyes. Actual tears, silver and glowing, running down her copper cheeks. Your daughter, she said. Your beautiful, impossible daughter. I think she just changed everything. 3 days after the drones retreated, a new light appeared in the sky. This one was different. It was golden and warm, and it descended slowly toward the farm like a sunrise in reverse. When it touched the ground behind the barn, it became a ship. Sleek and beautiful, with curves that looked more like art than technology. Valeth had been waiting for it. She had sent a signal using the repaired cipher, and her people had finally come. Marcus and Lily stood on the porch, watching as the ship opened and figures emerged. They were tall like Valeth, though their skin came in different colors. Blue, silver, deep green. They wore uniforms that suggested authority, and they moved with the careful precision of soldiers who had seen too many battles. The leader was an older being with silver hair and golden skin. He walked toward Valeth and placed his hand on her shoulder in a gesture that seemed like both greeting and respect. Sentinel Corps 7, he said. We received your signal. We feared you were lost. I nearly was, Valeth replied. I would have been if not for them. She gestured toward Marcus and Lily. The leader looked at the humans. His expression was difficult to read, but there was curiosity in it. And something else. Caution, perhaps. The primitives helped you? They did more than help. They saved my life. They hid me from the Hollow for 6 days while I repaired the cipher. And when the Hollow finally found us, the child did something I have never seen in 300 years of service. What did she do? She stopped them, with nothing but words and a drawing. The leader's eyes widened. He looked at Lily, who was holding Marcus's hand and watching the aliens with the same calm acceptance she had shown from the beginning. That is not possible, the leader said. The Hollow does not respond to communication. It does not negotiate. It does not feel. And yet it retreated. It scanned the child and retreated. I believe it found something in her that it could not calculate. Something that broke its predictive models. The leader was quiet for a long moment. Then he walked toward Marcus and Lily. He stopped a few feet away and looked down at them with those ancient alien eyes. Human, he said, I am Commander Theron Ves-Akthel of the Hegemony Fleet. I have served for 5 centuries. I have fought the Hollow across 1,000 worlds. I have watched civilizations fall despite everything we could do to save them. And you are telling me that a child stopped them with a piece of paper. Marcus put his hand on Lily's shoulder. That's what happened. How? What did she do that was different from all our weapons and strategies and technologies? Marcus looked down at his daughter. I think you should answer that one, sweetheart. Lily thought about it carefully. The machines were confused, she said. I could tell. They were looking at me and they didn't understand something. So I just explained it to them. Explained what? That Valeth is our friend. That we love her. That you can't hurt someone that other people love. It's not nice. Love, the commander repeated slowly, as if the word was strange to him. You believe love stopped the hollow? Not just love, Valeth said. She stepped forward to stand beside Marcus and Lily. Something more than that. Hope without evidence. Trust without calculation. The willingness to declare something true simply because you believe it should be true. Among our people, such traits are considered weaknesses. We have trained ourselves to think logically, to calculate every decision, to never act without certainty. But these humans are different. They believe first and think later. They hope even when hope makes no sense. And the Hollow could not understand this? The Hollow has consumed 10,000 civilizations. Every single one of them followed patterns it could predict. They fought or they fled. They calculated their chances and made strategic decisions. Even their emotions followed logical paths. Fear led to retreat. Anger led to attack. Everything could be modeled. Everything could be anticipated. Valeth looked at Lily with something like reverence. But this child felt no fear. She felt no anger. She simply believed that love was enough to protect me. She believed it with complete, irrational certainty. And when the Hollow scanned her mind, it found no strategy, no calculation, no model to follow. Just pure, unconditional belief in something that made no logical sense. So it retreated, the commander said, because it could not understand. Yes, for the first time in recorded history, the Hollow encountered something it could not predict or model. And when a machine intelligence faces something it cannot understand, it does what any machine does. It pauses. It reassesses. It tries to gather more data. The commander looked at Marcus. You understand what this means, human? Not really. I'm just a guy who works at a packaging plant. It means that your species may possess the one thing the Hollow cannot fight. Not weapons. Not technology. Not even intelligence. Something else. Something we lost long ago in our pursuit of perfect logic and calculation. What's that? The ability to believe in impossible things. The willingness to love without reason. The courage to hope when hope makes no sense. The commander paused. We dismissed your species as primitives. We believed you were too young, too chaotic, too irrational to be of any value. We were wrong. Valeth stepped forward. Commander, I request permission to add a recommendation to my mission report. Speak. The hegemony has spent centuries searching for a weapon against the Hollow. We have tried everything and failed. But here, on this insignificant world, we found something different. Not a weapon, but a way of thinking. A way of being. I recommend that the hegemony initiate formal contact with humanity. Not as subjects to be protected, but as partners to be learned from. The commander was silent for a long moment. Then he nodded slowly. Your recommendation will be considered. The council will want to hear your full report. He looked at Marcus again. Human, Marcus Cole, the hegemony owes you a debt we can never fully repay. You protected one of our own at great risk to yourself and your family. You gave us the cipher that will lead our people to safety. And your daughter may have given us something even more valuable. What's that? A new hope. The commander turned to return to his ship. We will not forget what happened here. And we will return. Valeth lingered. She knelt down in front of Lily and took the child's hands in hers. Little one, she said, you have done something incredible today. You have shown me that there is more to the universe than calculation and logic. You have reminded me what it means to believe in something simply because it is good. Will you come back and visit?" Lily asked. Vela smiled. It was the first true smile Marcus had seen from her. "I will, I promise. And one day, when you are older, perhaps you will come and visit me. The stars are full of wonders, Lily Cole, and I think you are exactly the kind of person who should see them." She stood and looked at Marcus. "Thank you. For everything. Stopping in the rain. For choosing to help when you had every reason not to. For being exactly what you are. What's that?" "Human." Valeth touched his face gently. "Beautifully, irrationally, wonderfully human." She walked toward the ship. At the entrance, she turned back one more time. "The Hollow will return," she said. "It will try to understand what it encountered here. It will study your species, try to model your behavior, try to predict your choices. But I do not think it will succeed. Because you are unpredictable, Marcus Cole, all of you. Every single one. And that may be the most powerful weapon in the universe." The ship lifted off, rising gently into the sky. Marcus and Lily watched it go, growing smaller and smaller until it vanished among the stars. The night was quiet. The rain had finally stopped completely, and the sky was clear. Somewhere up there, the billions of beings would find their way to safety because of a small device that had been repaired in a root cellar in Kansas. And somewhere up there, an ancient machine intelligence was trying to understand something it had never encountered before. A little girl who believed love was enough. Marcus squeezed his daughter's hand. "Come on, sweetheart. It's past your bedtime. Daddy? Yeah? Do you think the Star Lady was right? Do you think being human is special?" Marcus looked up at the sky, at all those distant lights, at all those worlds and species and civilizations he would never see. "I think," he said slowly, "that being human means we get to choose who we want to be. We get to decide what matters to us. We get to love people and help people and believe in impossible things, even when it doesn't make sense. And maybe that's not special to everyone, but it's special to me." Lily thought about this. "I think so too." They walked back to the house together, a father and daughter under a sky full of stars. Behind them, the world continued to turn. Ahead of them, the universe waited, vast and strange and full of possibilities. And somewhere out there, among the endless dark, a message was spreading. A story about a small world and its impossible people. A warning to those who would threaten them. And a hope bright and irrational and unbreakable that maybe, just maybe, humanity was exactly what the galaxy needed. Not warriors. Not conquerors. Just people who loved without reason and hoped without logic. Just humans. And that was enough.